Good evening. It's Tuesday. Tuesday is Testosterone Tuesday day. This is the day that we talked about, look at. It rhymes with testosterone, so we use that as a thing. Now people go like, well, George, what in the heck? Why would a 72-year-old even want to talk about something like Testosterone Tuesday? Well, it really is an issue. When you start looking at it, Testosterone Tuesday, you're either thriving or you're dying. It's a balancing act. And what about that balancing act? When did that happen? It's been happening all your life. It's a balancing act of testosterone. Testosterone is the king hormone. It's the king hormone because men's major hormone, isn't it? Now, women have testosterone too, just like men have estrogen. But of the hormone kings, testosterone really is a king because it's a precursor of maladies. When your testosterone starts to go down, other things take a place that aren't good that we don't want. And so that's what we start talking about. Because there's other hormones. Can you think of some of the other hormones? Sure. And so when you have these other hormones going on, you need to understand what's going on. Okay? And so you have insulin, right? And you have cortisol, right? And you have your thyroid hormones. There's actually two of those little buggers, aren't there? So that's part of it. So testosterone is our hero. Guys, if you wake up, you have a tent pole, flagpole, great. Your libido's good, great. That should not go away until maybe your 70s, maybe 80s, maybe. But it's actually reversing now that men, are losing that testosterone strength in their 20s and 30s, definitely by their 40s. But think about it. That's where, hey, ask your doctor it's right for you. We got a pill, and a shot. There's a pill and a shot for everything. But does it fix it? Does it fix it? And that's where we're looking to find people that want to join us. And I'm looking for 40,000 by May. We're going into March Madness, and then we have the showers, and we have then the followers. So I'm looking to have 40,000 people join us on our crusade by May. So May is our target on this, right? And what's happened? What has happened in this world? Well, really, my mantra is very simple. Food got me into this mess, and food will get me out. Think about it. What else could get us into such a jam? What's changed? What has truly changed over time? It's been our food environment, hasn't it? Because if it was just me, okay. If it was just me, you're lazy. You're weak. You're. Because if there's only like one kid in the whole school failing, okay. But when it's the entire town that has an issue, now we have to look at what the mega source is. And the mega source is what? Food got us into this mess. Food will get us out. And what we're talking about, really, when we start looking at things, is testosterone. And what about that crazy thing called testosterone? What does that really do? Look at these guys. If we start looking at some of my friends, some of the 40,000 already, look at the transformations every one of them has had. And that's the exterior. That's not even the interior. So what are we looking at? Well, no matter how long you have traveled the wrong direction, you can always turn around. See, people, guys especially, give up hope. Well, I tried this diet and I tried that diet and I tried. Isn't that about how you hear? I tried. And what happens? Well, I failed. I guess I just not cut out to be healthy. I guess I'm just gonna have to be old and die, sick, and on a bunch of pills and weak and not enjoy my grandkids, not even be able to enjoy my kids, some of you guys. I already know that. So why? What could we do? Well, when we understand that there is hope and there is the ability for you to take charge, that's what we really want. I want you to understand that that's an ability that you have. We're looking for you to be one of the 40,000 that takes up the challenge to improve your health, your legacy, for your family, for yourself, for your business, to be able to be all that you can be. Yeah, right? Isn't that one of the slogans we've heard, guys? Sure. Be all you can be. Well, let's be all you can be. But health is wealth. Health is wealth. How many rich, stinking, filthy rich guys and gals would literally give all to go back to their youth, to go back to be healthy, to go back to not being on 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 meds and restrictions and brain fog? And how many people would give it all? See, the investment now in our youth, investment now in your 30s, 40s. I'm 74. I'm fully invested in this, and I'm fully working to get and improve my health. Why? I got grandkids. I got great grandkids. I got 4 brothers and 5 sisters. By gum, my mom's 96. Family is important. And I don't want to be the fat grandpa. I don't want to be the old, slow uncle that can't do skadiddly, because I was there. I have been there. Maybe I'll show some pictures later of what I look like. I mean, I have morphed and transformed, and now I have a mission, and I want to share that with you. But we're talking about testosterone on this Testosterone Tuesday. Why? Well, because this is some of the things that we need to look at. Right here, testosterone. What can we talk about? Well, let's look at it. If you have low testosterone, sleep apnea increases. Andrew, one of our friends, got off of what? Got off of that stupid machine. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't imagine. And some of you may be on it. You know, the one you got to put on and wear at night so that you don't leave this world because you stop breathing. He doesn't need that anymore. I mean, we have lots of people that have been able to do that Get off of those machines. Increased body fat happens when you have low testosterone. Have you noticed your personality growing around the midsection? You go, that's just the dad bod. We're just getting older. That's just the thing because you're getting older. Well, it happens when the energy source takes over and doesn't function right, and the hormones get out of whack. Low testosterone contributing to that body fat. Guys start growing man boobs, right? That's what we call them, right? Not square chest, nothing like that, right? We start estrogenizing, if you will. And type 2 diabetes. Did you know that, and maybe you do, but probably you don't, because I didn't know. I didn't know that low testosterone is a precursor. It is an indicator, just like a bobber. You guys, you fish. Remember when you fished as a kid and they had the float, the red, white bobber? It may have been the sticky one, the long one with the little ball in the middle. It may have just been the ball, red and white, right? And that start bobbing, that little hint that, hey, there's a fish underneath. It starts to bob, right? Remember that? Guess what? When you aren't functioning in your libido naturally, it's a sign of low testosterone, which is a precursor for type 2 diabetes. Why? Because everything in our engine, everything in our body works together. Nothing is that isolated. So as the testosterone gets lower and your libido goes lower and you lose your sex drive, let's just call it what it is, and you may even think about getting shots for that T, right? Or you may start taking the blue pill, this pill, that pill, generic or whatever. You start rubbing stuff and look to get a pump or an implant, right? Just so that you can maintain that, what we used to know, John Wayne type manhood, right? The masculinity, right? The macho mismo. Guess what? Those are signs that our system's breaking down. And I know, because I'm 74, I know that I was raised in the generation that men, we didn't talk about this stuff, did we? We didn't talk about that. And it wasn't in a position where we would share our thoughts. We wouldn't ask for help, did we? No. We just went on, and if I'm a man, I don't need no help. I can do this. I don't need that. I don't want that. I can figure this out. And what happens? We didn't figure it out. We didn't figure it out. We just got worse. And then what happened to our relationships? And we would look, some guys would look for the younger, right? They look for outside. They look for self-gratification, self-satisfaction, because it was their partner's fault that they weren't stimulated. It was their partner's fault that they didn't have the libido. They weren't desirous, whatever. And guess what? As your belly grew, you weren't that great either. And as your hair starts to fall out, yeah. And and what else happens, guys? You get tired, too tired. You come home, you're exhausted. I worked so hard all day. Well, yeah, and after lunch, you also fell asleep, didn't you? You needed a pick-me-up, quote, pick-me-up, right? You needed to grab an energy drink of some kind or whatever to, right, come out of that fatigue. and you didn't sleep well because your neck was growing. And so you were snoring, and they needed a sleep machine to keep you alive. All that goes back to testosterone, the low T. And what about your mood swings? You used to be happy go lucky, right? Probably. But now you're get off my lawn guy? You're good this hour, you're bad this hour, you're hungry, you're hangry. And when that happens, what else goes away? Your friends, your family. You don't even like you. Yeah. If you're on the pre-diabetes path, if you've been told you're pre-diabetic, guess what? You're going to be. But guess what you are? Your testosterone is also probably low. Your sex drive has gone down. Your endurance has gone down. Hey, I'm 74. I just did a Spartan run, a Spartan race. I love doing those kinds of mud runs. I love those obstacles things. Up and down and over and out, right? Pick this up, tote that barge, lift that bale, get a little happy in you. Okay. But really, isn't that how this works? If your sex drive goes down, your endurance goes down, your brain fog, your ability to concentrate on the job while you're working, while you're talking, while you're playing with your grandkids, when you're trying to teach them something and you forget. Oh yeah, that's how that worked. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And so erectile dysfunction, muscle mass, you start to lose muscle. Technically, that's called sarcopenia. And as you lose muscle mass, it is a normal atrophy type thing for getting older, but it doesn't, that's normal, but you don't have to be that. I'm gaining lean muscle. Yeah. I've gotten up to 30% lean muscle mass. I was down, Lord knows. So here's part of my story. This is part of why my passion is the way it is. In October of 2024, I had symptoms going out of my gourd. I had so many symptoms, I can't even begin to tell you. In fact, how many symptoms did I have? I had so many symptoms. Let me show you right here. My buddies. Let's just go over here. Let me pull this up. This chart has 69 symptoms inside of all of the systems of the body. For example, metabolic, cardiovascular, physical. I had 57 of these symptoms in October 2024. At the encouragement to go to the doctor and get some labs done. Now, I don't know about you. I don't have white coat syndrome. I mean, my dad was a doctor. We had the clinic in the house. Mom's a PhD RN. I have a brother that's a doc. I've been on ambulance calls, house calls. I've been in surgery since the 7th grade. So I'm not afraid of doctors. Dentists, another deal, but doctors, no big deal. But I'm also massive denial. I'm fine, is my statement, right? How about you? Is that how you feel too? How you doing? I'm fine. Mm-hmm. duct tape and baling twine. Now, most of you are too young to even know what bales are or baling twine. And we didn't always use twine, did we? We sometimes use wires, and those are really tough on the hands, weren't they? But the whole thing is that if it ain't broke, really broke, I don't need a doc. I certainly don't need a pill or a shot. But in October 24, I did go to the clinic. Great doc. I wish I could find him again. He left the practice, I guess maybe because of me. But anyway, they drew my blood. And they drew my blood. And I'm not stupid. I know that if I wait longer in a day, if I fast longer, my blood sugar should come down, right? Fasting blood glucose. They always want you to get it done right away in the morning so you can go eat right away. Isn't that how that works, right? Well, I went in at 2 in the afternoon. I'd been fasting almost 20 hours. I went and got my blood drawn. Got the blood drawn. And I left the clinic. And within an hour, the laboratory that received my blood samples called the clinic, and the clinic spent the rest of the day frantically trying to get a hold of me. They were blowing up my phone. So I saw that when I got home. And they were closed, so I didn't call them until the next morning. And I go, hey, what's up? You guys been calling me. What's going on? It says, they ran me through triage on the phone. Are you sweating? Are you dizzy? Are you nauseous? Have you fainted? Are you sweating? Did you sleep? Have you been convulsing? Are you chilled? Are you hot? Are you hear ringing in your ears? Is your vision blurry? Is your speech stuttering? No. Well, what's up? And they go like, we've been trying to get a hold of you since yesterday afternoon. And I go, yeah. You were blowing up my phone. Well, why didn't you answer? Why didn't you answer us all afternoon? We were calling you. I go, oh, because I was golfing. No respectful golfer is going to answer the phone other than a known emergency, right? I go, what's up? They go, well, you got to come in right away. Guys, I know right now that said yes to anything they said and asked me in that triage, they would have sent an ambulance. So I got to the clinic about 20 minutes away, walked in the clinic, and this is a nice posh clinic, the plants, the nice chairs, not folding chairs or, plastic chairs. This is, all leather and all that. I walked in and you would have thought I was in inner city ER. They rushed me back to exam room, and there's 4 attendees and I don't know how many staff. And they ran me through the triage questions again. Are you dizzy? Are you nauseous? Are you blurry vision? Have you lost your balance? Are you ringing in your ears? Are you sweaty? Have you lost your mind memory? Have you started to stammer? No. I go, what's up? Well, we tried to call you. Yeah, I know. We've already gone through this. What's up? And they go, why did you answer? Because I was golfing. Can we get past out? What's my numbers? Were you fasting? They asked. I go, yeah, I was fasting. I know the longer I fast, the lower my blood sugar is going to be. So what's my number? What's my numbers? Come on, let's go. My fasting blood glucose was 834. Yeah. I should not be here. I should have, at least on the shortest end of it, I should have had a stroke, been in a coma. 834 fasting blood glucose. and an A1C of 18.1. Look those up. Reference that. Use your AI. Google. I don't care what you use. Look at 834 fasting blood glucose and 18.1, and you're going to find out that that is beyond medical emergency. Critical care is needed now. And that was the day after. And they go, "You were fat?" I go, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, great. Thank you very much." And they looked at me kind of cross. I'm like, "What do you mean, thank you very much?" I said, "Well, thanks for those numbers." And I walked out of the clinic. To their chagrin, no medication, no plan, no medical intervention of any kind. Why? How? Well, I walked in to the clinic just fine. I figured I could walk out just fine. I was just fine golfing the day before, just fine. And so I knew in my heart of hearts that food got me into this mess and food will get me out. But I did know that I needed to make some changes, and I needed to kind of make them fast. And I know that food got me into the mess. And I know if that's the case, then food will get me out. I mean, if you go into, if you're driving along, you get to a detour, you don't leave the car and get on a horse and go backwards, right? You're going to figure out how to go around or through. Well, I knew that I couldn't continue on doing what I was doing because that's what got me into the mess. But let's look at what are the things that were screaming. I mean, what are the things that are screaming in your world that tells you that things aren't right? I mean, do you have a slump of energy around after lunch? Do you kind of crash? What's your fix? What are your fixes? The candy jar, the vending machine, another soda, another Fufa Lupa coffee, right? Something else that tied you over to dinner. Hmm? And then when you have dinner or supper or whatever you call it, wherever you live, is it early or is it late? You're eating later, like 8, 9, 10, and then you try to go to bed with all that in your gut? Oh, you might have had what, 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages in the meantime too? Or sodas, milkshakes, ice cream. Can you walk away from that stuff easily? And what about, how do you sleep? How many times do you get up at night? I mean, there's so many things, guys, and it all relates back to the same thing. So that's really where we're at. We start talking about testosterone. We start talking about all of the maladies, all the things that happen inside of this thing called testosterone. And we start looking at it from that standpoint. We start pulling it together. All the other hormones work as a team. And if one is weak, if one of these hormones is weak, what happens to the others? What happens to those other hormones? Well, yeah, they start to dominate, don't they? They start to take the place. If testosterone is low, it starts to raise havoc with all the other ones. And so now the insulin can't work well. And that's why we talked about just a minute ago, we started talking about, hey, that's where the whole idea of the problems exist. I mean, which of these bugs you the most? Which of these, if you know that you don't have one independent of the other, do you? Every one of these happens at some point in time. And your hair starts to fall out. Your gums start to bleed. You start to have skin tags. You start to have the velvety skin, nicanthus, right? It's you have that mold, almost looks like mold or velvet on your neck, your face, your armpits, right? That gut starts to grow, that dad bod gets there, your strength starts to go downhill, right? Your gums start to bleed, you might start having gout. Your face starts getting big like a pumpkin. You may start having foot ulcers or sores that don't heal, right? Your vision may be getting blurry, cataracts, acne on your back, even boils. All these things all deal hormonally because we are putting the wrong energy together. Yeah, that's really where the problem comes in. And when you have sarcopenia, you start having muscle wasting. And some people that are taking shots to take care of their gravity challenge and their wideness of their personality, which is taking over 2 seats in the airplane, they are suffering, and maybe they don't even realize, clinically, up to 40% of those pounds, because everybody fixates on the scale, they don't fixate on their clothing. Up to 40% is lean muscle mass, cartilage and bone, but mostly muscle. Now, why would that possibly not be a good thing? Why would that possibly not be a good thing? Well, what's the number one burner of energy in your body? What's the number one? Sure, cells. I get that, right? Congratulations, biology 101. But what cells? Muscle cells, right? So you want a suggestion? You want to help your body feel better, be better? You want to adjust, help increase your testosterone levels, help increase the sensitivity of your cells to insulin and glucose? Take a walk. Eat, take a walk. Eat, take a walk. Eat, take a walk. Take some stairs. Doesn't be far, doesn't be fast. Eventually it will increase. But that utilization of those muscles, especially the big butt, right? Gluteus maximus, hams and quads, which are your biggest muscles, right? No, your belly is not a big muscle. That's big and it's hard. No, that's not, that's even worse. What we do is you can walk 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just go take a stroll. Take a walk. If you have a dog, take a dog for a walk. If you have a cat, take it for a drag. Got a significant other? Then both of you go. Got a buddy? Go out. Take some time for yourself. And a 10, 15-minute walk after you eat every time will help. It'll help Well, it's going to help get the glucose in the insulin to get the glucose into the muscle cells when it can. Okay, going to do that. It's going to help with the peristaltic action of your gut. It's going to help you poop and good, right? And with those couple things, you're going to have the ability, right, to what? Begin to develop your mental clarity, because the more we get rid of that insulin resistance, the more the other things start to work together, right? If you want to start recovering your libido, stop thinking magic pills, because that solves nothing. Short fix, maybe. Eventually, you need more and more. And then eventually they don't work, so they change that to something else. And that doesn't work, so they change something else. Because why won't they work eventually over time? Because you're continuing to put in the heavy load of all the modern day food environment. You haven't changed what's built up in your system like it did in mine. And trust me, my body was screaming. My hair is falling out. It's growing back now, and it's strong. 74. I mean, I'm loving it. Okay. Skin tags. Those aren't normal. They look like a hydra, like a bud. My back acne was so embarrassingly bad, I would wear shirts to bed because of the seepage. I went to specialists, some of the most specialists in the country for that. Here's a pill. Here's some goop you can put on your back. Did it work? Did it change a little bit? Yeah. Did it fix it? No. Now that I found this protocol, all good. Like I can go to the pool and not worry that I'm scaring off children. I'm not embarrassed to take my shirt off. In fact, for size-wise, I just ordered these shirts. I've gone from the XLs, and you guys all know what I'm talking about, the XL sizes, right? I've had all of them. The t-shirt I have on now is small. I wear a small now. And I'm fit. Bring it on. Let's play. And so the thing about that is that my skin acne is gone. My gums don't bleed. I don't have gout. Toe fungus is gone. Hair, no blurry vision. Brain fog's gone. All that's good. And I eat, quote, normal. I eat what makes sense. I eat maybe twice a day. I don't snack all the time. And when I do eat, we have the fiber. We look to introduce fiber first. So an order of priority of how we eat. We start with fiber, some fiber. We start with a fiber matrix. Actually, drink a fiber matrix. What do I mean by that? Well, it's soluble and insoluble fiber. Some of the fiber turns into a gel. It coats the gut, the lining of the stomach, and it slows the absorption of the energy. Let's talk about it that way. The insoluble sweeps. It's not for me to eat. It's not nutrition for me. It's nutrition for the gut bacteria. Did you know your gut is full of bacteria, like, trillions? And there's good ones and bad ones. Just like in the gremlins, there's good ones and bad ones, right? Well, the bad ones If your gut is screwed up, you have mood swings. If your gut's screwed up, you have irritable bowel. If your gut is screwed up, you have leaky gut and all the other Crohn's and all the other deals, guys. That is your cells in your lining of your intestines, small and large, messed up because you're not feeding it the right way. You're feeding the bad guys and starving the good guys. We'll have a talk some other day about what the right way to do it. But with the protocol that I take, the protocol that I use, don't have that. Have no constipation, no diarrhea, regular as yesterday and tomorrow. But when you take a good fiber, and yeah, you can purchase fibers that are in jars at the farmers, probably not CVS and Walmart, and probably even at the local Casey's. I don't know. And it's like a fiber, and it's good for pooping, gluten pooping, right? But it doesn't fix the gut. And you can take all kinds of prebiotics and those kinds of things, but really, what's the source? What's the proof? What's the measurement? How do you know? And if you're taking it, is that taking care of your leaking gut, your gut dysbiosis? Does that fix them? Are there clinical trials that prove it? Yeah, there are here. If you're supplementing, are there clinical trials to prove its efficacy? If you're taking some kind of, is it listed in the most respected book in the world in terms of pharmaceuticals? Do you know what that one is? It's referenced as the PDR. It used to be the physician's desk reference. My dad had them on his desk. And they were black, they were red, there was a green one. They were new every year. It was a PDR. Now it's called the prescriber's digital reference, PDR. But you can look at any and every pharmaceutical, and in this case, nutraceutical. It's in there. And why is that important? It's because, well, it works. There's no side effects. There's no interactions. Every batch is independently tested for carcinogens, toxicity, mold, mildew, purity. So what I know is in here, I know it's in here because it's been tested and it's clean. And that's going to help fix your gut. So if we eat fiber first, then what's next? Well, I call it the F-off system. Yeah, F-off. Fasting, because you don't need to eat 9-10 times a day. So in between the 2 meals you may have, don't eat. That would be considered a fast. When you're sleeping, you're abstaining from eating, right? That's considered fasting. You do it all the time. It's Lent in season now. Fasting. If you look at it as a punishment, you really mess yourself up. It's normal. We never ate 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day when I grew up in the 50s, in the 60s. It wasn't until the 70s for profit, not health, for profit, and continued since then, snacking has become a deal. And now the snacking is feeding you for your addiction. Yeah. Most of us have been trained as addicts now. If you're born after 1970, you definitely are. You become an addict. Most of you. I was. To sugar, to carbohydrates. Oh, no, okay. You can argue all you want, and I'm happy for you to argue. But my evidence, go to the grocery store. Go to the grocery store objectively and look at what people are putting in their carts. What are they voting on with their money? Tell me I'm wrong. Around the outside of their grocery carts are plastic bottles of what? High fructose corn syrup. Doesn't matter what color it is, it's all the same ingredients, so isn't it? What's the main ingredient in every one of them? Water, fructose, high fructose corn syrup, and some coloring. And then natural flavors. Think about that. And then look what's in their cart. How many bags of chips, crackers? What else is in that cart? Can you even find the fresh vegetables? Can you find the non-GMO fruits? You know, the normal size fruits, not the Fuji apples the size of a bowling ball. Watermelons with seeds. How do they get to have not seeds? How do they reproduce? Oh, genetically modified. So we're eating God-given Garden of Eden food? Or are we eating Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory food for Igor? Think on that. It's real simple. Even look at how food's staged on the shelves. Look at how food's staged on the shelves. Where you're looking, you're 5 foot, whatever you are, maybe you're a 6 footer. Couldn't imagine that being that tall. But if you're that tall, look at what's at your eye level. This is the food that you buy, the food that you eat, isn't it? Go down and be a little squatty and look at what do the kids see? What do your grandkids see? What's at their eye level? So that's a whole nother conversation. But guys, start your day with some fiber. Start your meals with some fiber and move. Next week we'll be back and should have some buddies with me, and we're going to talk more testosterone. Every Tuesday we talk about testosterone. We'll start a channel on LinkedIn, and every day for 25 minutes, we're going to talk about different levels of different things. We're going to talk about metabolic mentality. We're going to talk about Testosterone Tuesday. We're going to talk about wellness and wealth. We're going to talk about Tactical Thursday. We're going to have a Freedom Friday. On Thursdays, we have couples, and we talk about what's it like for a couple. And on Sundays, the show very near and dear to my heart is about Alzheimer's and brain fog. So every day we're going to be on discussing metabolic health. I thank you for participating. I thank you for being on. I look forward to seeing you again on the next show. We have a science call every Tuesday night. That's coming up. That's going to be exciting. And look forward to having you join the mission. And me and my little buddy, Curious George, back there, we want to thank you for your time. We want to help you raise your testosterone levels. We want to help you decrease your insulin resistance. We want you to get control of your anabolic. We want to get control of your gut dysbiosis. We want you to have the best life. We don't want food getting you into this mess. We want food to get you out of it. We want you to join our mission. And I'm looking for 40,000 of you. Got a few today, but I'm looking for 40,000 more. So thanks very much. Have a great night.